certainly not my first horror film. Of course, not watching it. But, they have something a little bit more different here when they're talking about my first horror film. And what that is, let's find out. An aspiring influencer documents her journey to booking her first horror film, but receives a bloody surprise when a real life killer begins murdering her castmates on set. So, yeah, not the first horror movie that you've seen, but the first one that you've been in. So that's kind of what we got going on here. Um, for this title, I know that I have a feeling I had heard maybe this or saw some of this somewhere, but I can't say that I remember putting out any information for this one and so forth. So a lot of this one kind of came out new for me. And where did I see this? Oh, this was on Tubi. Okay, I did end up catching this on Tubi. So that's apparently where I saw it, where it popped up. So definitely, a title that you're kind of like, whatever. That could be interesting. They also listed here as horror comedy, so I guess I'll touch a little bit of that as well. So yeah, really didn't know too much about it. Again, on Tubi, kind of pushed play on it. Um, I mentioned that I maybe should have known something a little bit about it because I forgot who it's done by, either Bloody Disgusting or Dread or somebody like that. So kind of when that came out, I was kind of surprised that this one kind of avoided me. But anyway, that doesn't mean it's good, doesn't mean it's bad, whatever. But definitely kind of let me say that okay, I'll probably leave this on to the end. Being kind of fairly new, and I'm pretty sure that it's fairly new, at least to Tubi. I'll try to keep it spoiler free. I'm not going to promise 100%. Cause I do want to mention a few things here, so I don't know if that will kind of venture into spoiler territory. So I'll try to watch myself, but don't hold me 100% to it. I definitely will not tell you who the killer is in the movie, so that's kind of a big twist and turn in it. So I'll kind of leave that for you guys to see. But I think one of the main reasons I am bringing this to you and decided to do a review is there are some things that I want to complain about. So not because kind of give you a teaser of where this is going review wise. This is not going to kind of go the great direction. This is going to be more of I'm bringing this to you because I want to complain about some stuff review. So that is, I guess, a definitely spoiler there for you guys. So anyway, what we kind of have here is the setup here of a young woman, and she's kind of doing her social media thing. She's filming herself, doing all kinds of different things on social media, talking about movies, talking about this, that, and the other thing. Trying to get the likes and all that kind of stuff that we know. I always talk about it at the end of the reviews. And all that good stuff. So, many of us know how that goes. So, she's kind of doing her thing, whatever. Then, on the side of that, apparently she's tried to make it as an actress on the set of a movie, in particular a horror movie. Just the story goes for a lot of actors. We've seen them, a lot of really famous ones. End up. You go look at their history, and they ended up. Kind of starting in horror. So it's led the way to a lot of big time actors and actresses out there. So she's excited. She got a role in a horror movie, so she's all excited about that and so forth. And she's going to go and do this audition. Get some vague details about what she's supposed to do. Supposed to meet somebody in a certain place. Get in a van, and they're going to go to the location where the shooting is. We get introduced to her friend, a very good friend of hers, best friend probably. And, she lets her know that, she got this role and she's going to be in this movie and so forth. But our friend has, a little bit more cautious of this, not really sure, what is going on here. Doesn't like some of the details that the young woman has told her about, what she has to do and going on the set and so forth. I should say, this is found footage. I should have said that at the top. This is a largely found footage type movie, so you were in for that, for those who are interested in found footage. If not, I apologize for not saying that earlier, and maybe you don't care about found footage and so forth. So yeah, this movie is largely that as well. So yeah, we'll get into that soon enough. So she, like as you said, she's trying to build her channel and so forth. So her friend is very prepared and has all this stuff, and to take on set with her, a little bit for her protection and a little bit, for her to record. So she's going on set to kind of record things, not just go on set to try out for this role, to kind of to have stuff to put on her channel when she's over with this. She gives her a couple of phones, one's a dummy phone, kind of clips a camera that's kind of hidden here somewhere on her shirt, and so forth, to take with her and film things. So both of them show up, I don't remember if they took the same car, different cars. I think they took the same car. Her friend gets out, goes and meets the person in the van. You meet some of the other characters are there with them that are going to be part of this film before they get in the van. This person is in charge of like the transportation and so forth. None of the other characters kind of use their real name. They're mostly referred to who they are in the movie. So there is one guy, he's a black guy. So throughout the movie, he's referred to as Black Guy. So that's very interesting. From a, the comedy part of the film, that was kind of interesting. And some of the names of some of the other characters that are used. But that one is just in particularly funny because it's just weird. Every time you see them call him or refer to him, it's Black Guy. And you almost think that, that's not really the way to go. And that's not the way you would normally go in a real situation. But here it is okay because, that's who he is in the movie. So, yeah, that's a little funny in itself. So at the end of the day, they all end up getting in this van and driving away. They have to be blindfolded and so forth. And as they do that, her friend gets out of the car and kind of confronts and says, hey, you shouldn't do this. There's something wrong here. Very suspicious. Why are you blindfolding them? I'm recording this, whatever. But her friend obviously still gets in the car and still goes. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a movie and so forth. But her friend's not happy about it. She's like, what time are you coming back? Around 12 o'clock? So I'll be here at 12 o'clock and you better have my friend with you. Otherwise, I'm going to the cops and so forth. So we get that deal going on. They go on this adventure, they try to make it a little dramatic, breakdown, whatever. They still end up on set. There's always something mysterious on set. It doesn't seem like a normal set. I'm not going to say I've ever been on a set, really know what's going on. But definitely you get this strange vibe and the weird stuff is already afoot. And obviously, it's a horror movie. So even, I'm going to say I didn't read the summary before, so I really had no real clue what this movie was about, going into it either. But you kind of get that kind of clues of, things being weird. Obviously going to the set blindfolded and so forth. Obviously there's, excuse for everything that kind of seems weird. Once she kind of gets there, we get wardrobe and a production assistant and that kind of thing. It is out in the middle of nowhere. At first, you don't really see the director. Then that person finally appears later on. Kind of as it goes on, the actors are spending some time together, then some time apart. And then, we eventually get to people dying because the slasher killer is here and killing. That it would... I'm not going to go too far into that because then we're really hitting spoiler territory. So I kind of leave that at for you guys to kind of see, and you guys can kind of picture a little bit of what is happening and going on in that regard. So some of the other things to kind of talk about and complain about. The found footage part of it, is this movie kind of hits. With one of my always problems with found footage movies, with a lot of them, is you get, the obvious found footage part of it. You obviously get the, like I said, the girl is going to have a camera on her. She also, at first she goes on set and is like trying to be secretive about it, but eventually, it ends up being okay with the director. Another, I think it was the wardrobe person, knows that she has it there. So eventually, everybody's kind of on set is okay with her filming. So she, not only has it here, she has a phone in her hand. She gives another girl who doesn't really do it, but gives her a camera. So now you have a second person with a camera running around, and you do get her view at some points in the movie. Why we're getting some points of her view if we're supposed to be getting the view of the girl, the main girl, I don't know, but we do. Obviously for a movie standpoint we do, but if we're story is from her standpoint, why are we getting another person's camera? Whatever. Again, they want to give you another angle, so here it is. I think there are times, might get a little bit of the angle through, the filming of the movie, but I'm not sure that happened too much. I might be exaggerating that. But here comes my problem with it is that there is one or two times where we kind of get away with that, and they kind of give you that shot of, we have no way else of filming this without just filming it in a regular, like if this was a regular film. And that always annoys me when you try to do something that is apparently as 100% found footage as you can be, but you kind of hope the audience doesn't notice or whatever, and you just take the liberty of we're going to show you this angle. Clearly nobody, it's not a character or anybody else in this movie filming it, but we're going to show you this angle anyway, and hopefully you're not like me and you notice that and you complain about it. I always complain about it with found footage. To me, if you're going to do it and you're going to present it in a way that you're doing it, 100%, then you need to be 100%. If you kind of open up the movie and you kind of do that mixture, there's been found footage films where, you clearly see there are times where they're on purpose doing it from that angle of the camera or whoever in the movie's filming. And then other moments in the movie where, it's just being kind of a standard movie and they kind of give you that mix and they kind of make it clear and it's clear to you. So people like me don't really complain. And then there's other times where this movie is trying to really give you that found footage. It's from her, and then, they add a camera or two. But then we'll have that moment or two where it's clearly nobody filming. Nobody that are these characters that are filming and so forth. And one of the scenes that's most clear of that is towards the end. And, this might be a tip off to spoiler territory or not, but, I mentioned that the transportation person is supposed to come back at 12. Well, she comes back at 12 and she brings the wardrobe person, and you can make an argument that there's a camera in the car, and maybe there is, maybe there's not. And I don't remember when they drove away if we were just seeing the influencer's point of view in the car, or maybe there's another camera. So while they're in the car, okay, I'll kind of give it to you. But then when they kind of get to where they're going, they get out of the car, and stuff happens. And to me, they're being shot, but neither of those characters had cameras to begin with, so who the hell is shooting? Clearly, the movie is shooting, not them. Like I said, you might have an argument that there's a camera in the car, so you're going to tell me, and based on the angle in that scene, that we have the angle shooting this way, and then the angle shooting this way, and then maybe an angle like... I may have to, maybe I should have gone back, and which I have no inspiration in doing, and reviewing that scene to kind of definitely see for sure. But as that scene kind of played out, at least in my mind, was telling me, who the hell is shooting this? Again, maybe there's cameras in the car, maybe I missed them, maybe I'm completely in the wrong, but I'm going to venture to say, you took liberties there, and that always bothers me. And I'm pretty sure there were one or two other scenes where it seemed like they took liberties. So I always complain about that with found footage and just are like, with that. Overall, again, another thing to complain is, yeah, there's a slasher in this. Yeah, there's a killer in this. It just, it never gets really bloody enough. You never really get into the kills. They're there, whatever. I think, there's one character that you assume is dead, then you find out later they're not dead, and that's kind of disappointing in itself. That kind of takes away from the kill count. The kill count never really gets greatly high, and, it's just, you never blood and guts and whatever, and it's just weird overall. And I don't really like the way they kind of ended is, kind of cops get involved and it's too kind of cut and dry. They leave maybe a little bit mystery to it as far as, what eventually happens, and maybe there's something else bigger going on here. But I didn't like that. I didn't like, I think it's kind of fairly obvious who the slasher is, so there's really not enough mystery there in that. Maybe it's, you kind of know why it's happening, but, actually they actually tell you, but we've kind of seen that before, so it's not really a shock who the killer is and what is really happening here. And then there's just not enough blood and guts in it to really be, really satisfying. So, that kind of bothered me as well. The girl who plays the main girl, she's okay, obviously her being more behind the camera than on it. And, and like I say, you greatly get to know her. I'm not going to say that the actress necessarily did a good or bad job, but, I think the naming of the characters are funnier and greater than any of the characters within themselves. I think to me, the one character we didn't get to see a lot of but stood out is her friend. I think her friend was hilarious. Obviously, we only get to see her in the beginning. We get to see her at the end, but that's it. Her friend, played a really great role and had a fun time with it, but we didn't get to see enough of that. So, so it ended up being a little disappointing for me. So with that, I'm going to give this one 1.5 pools of blood. I didn't really cut it for me, and that is out of 5. So with that, horrorgory-reviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews written in video. Certainly mostly video reviews of late for a while now. So you can like, subscribe, and do everything that everybody wants to do here on YouTube. If not, no worries. It is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. And with that, Twitter, Facebook information down below as well, so you can reach out to me there. And definitely in the comment section, if you have a different point of view, or if I was completely wrong with that ending scene there in the van, you can tell me. It's fine. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So with that, I guess I'll catch you in the next review, horror fans.